SaarLorLux. SaarLorLux, a portmanteau of Saarland, Lorraine and Luxembourg, is a euroregion of 5 different regional authorities located in 4 different European states. The term has also been applied to cooperations of several of these authorities or of the subdivisions, administrations, organizations, clubs and people.Member regions represent different political structures. The sovereign state of Luxembourg, Belgium's Walloon region, comprising the French and German-speaking parts of Belgium, Lorraine, a region of France, the French départements Moselle and Meurthe-et-Moselle, and the German federal states of Saarland and Rhineland-Palatinate. There is no well-defined structure of Saar-Lor-Lux nor even an exclusive definition of its size. Instead, there exist multiple forms of cooperation and contractual relations among all or several members. Sometimes instead of Saar-Lor-Lux, the term Greater Region is used, short for the more formal Greater Region of Saarland, Lorraine, Luxembourg, Wallonia and Rhineland-Palatinate. Member regions. Shared history. The region of Saar-Lor-Lux was settled by the Celtic tribes of the Treveri and Media-Matrici. The Treveri lived in the south of Belgium, Luxembourg, western Rhineland-Palatinate, and northern Saarland. Lorraine and the southern Saarland were inhabited by the Media-Matrici. Both tribes were conquered during the Gallic Wars by the Roman legions of Julius Caesar. The area became part of the Roman provinces of Gallia Belgica, Germania Superior, and Germania Inferior. Barbarian invasions forced the enfeebled Roman Empire to abandon possession of the area in the 5th century. The region became a part of the Frankish Empire. After the death of Louis the Pious in 840, the Carolingians adhered to the Germanic custom of partial inheritance, and the Treaty of Verdun in 843 divided the empire into 3. Louis's eldest surviving son Lothair I became Emperor of the Romans and ruler of Middle Francia. His 3 sons in turn divided this kingdom between them into Lotharingia, Burgundy and the Kingdom of Italy. The core area of Saar-Lor-Lux lies within the borders of Lotharingia. The struggle to gain control over Lotharingia was the cause of centuries of struggle and war between the 2 other Franconian kingdoms, which over time evolved into the Kingdom of France and the Holy Roman Empire, with the Holy Roman Empire ultimately gaining control until the 18th century. From 1384, the then Duchy of Luxembourg and part of Wallonia formed part of what was known as the Burgundian Netherlands, which was inherited by the House of Habsburg in 1482, becoming the Habsburg Netherlands. Although still subject to the Holy Roman Emperor, the Habsburg Netherlands were inherited by Habsburg Spain in 1556 and ruled in a personal union until 1714. Thereafter it was ruled by the Austrian Habsburg monarchy, the rulers of which were also the Holy Roman Emperors. The remainder of Wallonia formed part of the Prince-Bishopric of Liege, while much of what would become Rhineland-Palatinate was part of the County Palatinate, which came under Bavarian control in 1777. Upper Lotharingia evolved into the Duchy of Lorraine, while several smaller states came and went over the centuries. In 1766 the Duchy of Lorraine and most of the surrounding smaller states were annexed by France, leaving the county of Somme and a few exclaves of other HRE states as the only territory within the modern region of Lorraine under imperial rule. In 1793 Somme was annexed, followed in 1794 by the southern Netherlands. Over the course of the Napoleonic Wars, the remainder of the region west of the Rhine was annexed to the newly formed French Empire. The rest of modern Rhineland-Palatinate east of the Rhine became part of the Duchy of Nassau, which was a member of Napoleon's puppet Confederation of the Rhine. The wars also saw an end to the Holy Roman Empire. Following Napoleon's defeat, the Congress of Vienna granted most of the southern Netherlands, including Wallonia, to the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. Luxembourg was placed in a personal union under the Dutch crown but also made subject to the Holy Roman Empire's successor, the German Confederation. Most of what would become the Saarland and Rhineland-Palatinate was split between the kingdoms of Bavaria and Prussia. The eastern portion of Luxembourg was also ceded to Prussia. The only other states to remain in the region were part of the Grand Duchy of Hesse-Homburg, the Principality of Liechtenberg, the Grand Duchy of Oldenburg and the Duchy of Nassau. The Lorraine region remained in French hands. In 1830, as a result of the Belgian Revolution, the Kingdom of Belgium declared independence from the Netherlands and also de facto annexed the French-speaking portion of Luxembourg. This was later recognized in the Treaty of London. As a result of these events, the inhabitants of the region were on different sides in the Franco-Prussian War of 1870–71, which ultimately led to the founding of the German Empire. The new empire also annexed part of Lorraine, as well as neighboring Alsace, as the imperial territory of Alsace-Lorraine. Following World War I, this territory was ceded back to France in the Treaty of Versailles, while the Sarge-Bayat, an area roughly coextensive with the modern Saarland, was placed under joint British and French control until 1935. Prior to World War II, the region was divided by the fortifications of the Maginot Line and the West Wall. After World War II, the Saar Protectorate was established under French control until 1957, when it was reunited with Germany, forming the modern state. A small area of Germany adjoining Rhineland-Palatinate was also ceded to Belgium, which was incorporated into Wallonia as the German-speaking community of Belgium. Today, the greater region is situated along both sides of the border between speakers of the German and French languages. 11,182,975 people live in an area of about 65,400 square kilometers. Situated in the center of the European Union, it contains highly populated urban sections along the rivers. These areas include industries, especially mining and steelworking. Rural areas are dominated by agriculture. Luxembourg is a sovereign nation with full autonomy. Each of the 4 départements of the French region of Lorraine is twice the size of the whole nation of Luxembourg. The Grand Duchy of Luxembourg has a population of 476,187 people in an area of 2,586 square kilometers. Luxembourg is a parliamentary representative democracy with a constitutional monarchy, ruled by a Grand Duke. It is the world's only sovereign Grand Duchy. The country has a highly developed economy, with the highest gross domestic product per capita in the world. The City of Luxembourg, the capital and largest city, is the seat of several institutions and agencies of the European Union. Luxembourg lies on the cultural divide between Romantic Europe and Germanic Europe, borrowing customs from each of the distinct traditions. Luxembourg is a trilingual country. French, German, and Luxembourgish are official languages. Although a secular state, Luxembourg is predominantly Roman Catholic. Until 1867, the City of Luxembourg, the Gibraltar of the North, was a federal fortress of the German Confederation. In the 20th century, Luxembourg was twice occupied by German armies. In the middle of 20th century, the economy of Luxembourg was dominated by the iron and steel industry. centuries. Then, a structural change took place, which transformed the country to an international financial center with more than 200 banks and over 800 financial institutions and insurance companies, generating more than 20% of the GNP of Luxembourg. Today, about 66% of workers are employed in the service sector, and less than 2% work in the steel industry. Saarland and Rhineland-Palatinate. The German states of Saarland and Rhineland-Palatinate are part of the federal system of Germany. They hold far-ranging authorities, although some decisions concerning international treaties are assigned to the federal government. Saarland is one of the 16 states of Germany. The capital is Saarbrücken. It has an area of 2,570 square kilometers and 1.051 million inhabitants. In both area and population, it is the smallest of the German Flächenländer, i.e., those that are not city-states. It is named after the Saar River, which is a tributary of the Moselle River, which runs through the state from the south to the northwest. One-third of the land area of the Saarland is covered by forest, one of highest percentages in Germany. The state is generally hilly. The highest mountain is the Dollberg with a height of 695.4 meters. Most inhabitants live in a city agglomeration on the French border that includes the capital of Saarbrücken. In 1919, Saarland was created from the communes where the steelworks and coal mines were located and the associated workers lived. From 1920 to 1935 and from 1947 to 1956, Saarland was economically affiliated with France. In 1957, 65,000 persons were employed in 18 coal mines. By 2006, only 6,300 in one mine remained. A comparable process happened with the steelworks. Rhineland-Palatinate is one of the 16 Bundesländer of Germany. It has an area of 19,846 square kilometers and about 4.048 million inhabitants. The capital is Mainz. The federal state of Rhineland-Palatinate was established on 30 August 1946. The main axis of the state is the Rhine River that forms the border with Baden-Württemberg and Hesse in the southeast before running across the northern part of Rhineland-Palatinate. The Rhine Valley is bounded by mountain chains and forms a landscape containing some of the most historically significant places in Germany. The Eifel and Hunsrück mountain chains are found on the west bank of the Rhine in northern Rhineland-Palatinate, while the Westerwald and Taunus mountains are found on the east bank. The hilly land in the southernmost region of the state is called the Palatinate Forest. These mountain chains are separated from each other by tributaries of the Rhine, the Moselle, the Lahn and the Nahe. Economically prosperous zones exist along the eastern borders, while in the western part of the state, there are structurally backward, rural regions. Lorraine is one of the 26 regions of France. Its two main cities are Metz and Nancy. The region's name is derived from the medieval Lotharingia. Lorraine consists of 4 départements: Moselle, Meurthe-et-Moselle, Meuse and Vosges. Each of them is as big as Luxembourg and the Saarland together. 2 of these départements, Vosges in the south and Meuse in the west, only have small interests in the Saar-Lor-Lux region, because they are far away from the shared border. Together, they have a population of about 2.338 million people on 23,547 square kilometers. Lorraine is part of the centralized administrative system of France. Therefore, many of the decisions necessary for cooperation in the Saar-Lor-Lux region have to be cleared through the central government in Paris. The current region of Lorraine is larger than the historical Duchy of Lorraine, which gradually came under French sovereignty between 1737 and 1766. The modern region includes provinces and areas that were historically separate from the Duchy of Lorraine proper. These are Valois, 3 bishoprics, several small principalities which were still part of the Holy Roman Empire at the time of the French Revolution. Lorraine borders the French regions of Franche-Comté, Alsace, and Champagne-Ardenne. The location of Lorraine led to it being seen as a strategic asset. As the crossroads of 4 nations, it had a very important role in European affairs. Lorraine has many rivers running through it, which include the Rhine, Moselle, Meurthe, and Meuse. From 1871 to 1918 and during World War II, Lorraine was part of Germany. During the last 40 years, most jobs in the formerly dominant industries of steelworking, coal mining and textiles were lost. Wallonia with its 5 provinces and 2 communities has far-reaching competencies in relation to economics, infrastructure, regional planning and foreign trade. Wallonia occupies the southern part of Belgium. It has an area of 16,844 square kilometers with 3.436 million inhabitants and comprises the following provinces: Hainaut, Liege, Luxembourg, Namur, Walloon, Brabant. French is the official language in most municipalities. German is the official language in 9 eastern municipalities which belonged to Germany until 1918 and now form the German-speaking community of Belgium. Several French-speaking municipalities have facilities in Dutch or German. In a survey conducted by the Université Catholique de Leuven in Leuven-la-Neuve published in June 2006, only 19% of Walloons stated that they were able to speak Dutch. In contrast, 59% of respondents from the Flemish community claimed to speak French. During the 70s, the number of jobs in coal mines and steelworks was reduced from 135,000 to 35,000 today. Therefore, the region partially depends upon federal subsidies, including from Flanders, Belgium's most inhabited region. Steelwork is today still important in the region. Development of cooperation. The beginnings of SaarLorLux. Founding members of the Saar-Lor-Lux region of the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, the German federal state Saarland and the French region of Lorraine. This classic Saar-Lor-Lux region spreads over an area of 36,700 square kilometers with about 4.7 million inhabitants. The term Saar-Lor-Lux was coined in 1969 by Dr. Hubertus Rolshoven, founding president of the Erie and president of Saarburg, the former organization of coal mines in the Saarland. The term recalls the close historical and economic ties among the coal mines and steelworks of Saarland, Lorraine and Luxembourg, creating a unified economic region. Facing the same severe economic problems of a crisis in the steel and coal industries, the partners began informal talks, discussing how to solve the shared problems and how to improve the region. In the 1970s, these talks began to be more formalized, when official governmental commissions, first between France and Germany only, then including Luxembourg, began the work. The formal founding act of SaarLorLux was an agreement between the governments of the French Republic, the Federal Republic of Germany and the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg concerning collaboration in the border regions, made on the 16th of October 1980. This agreement is the legal base of a boundary-crossing cooperation of administrations and institutions to promote the economic, cultural, touristic and social development of the region. Enlargement of the membership. The treaties and agreements of Saar-Lor-Lux. Step by step, the cooperation originally exclusive to Saarland, Lorraine and Luxembourg was developed to include the greater region of Saarland, Lorraine, Luxembourg, Wallonia and the French-speaking Belgians, the German-speaking Belgians and the German state of Rhineland-Palatinate. There was no formal process of enlargement that included new regions in on all aspects of cooperation in Saar-Lor-Lux. The new members did not enter every instrument of collaboration, they only joined single treaties or aspects of cooperation. Therefore, there is not one all-embracing structure anymore. Now, there are different bilateral and multilateral treaties among different members, creating different grades of cooperation without clear separation from each other. Terminology: there is no standardized definition of Saar-Lor-Lux. The term Saar-Lor-Lux refers to several different geographical structures. The original term only includes the founding members, which were the three regions of Saarland, Lorraine and Luxembourg, the so-called triangle of coal and steel industries. The term also refers to the cooperation of Saarland, Lorraine and Luxembourg with the regions of Walloon and Rhineland-Palatinate to parts of these two additional regions. One of these combinations, also called Saar-Lor-Lux, is Saarland-Lorraine-Luxembourg Trier-Westphals. Trier and Westphals are the western parts of Rhineland-Palatinate. For example, there is a Saar-Lor-Lux ticket, which can be used on all trains of this greater region. Another combination is Saarland, Lothringen, Luxembourg, Walloon region, and Rhineland-Palatinate to Saarland, Lothringen, Luxembourg. The French Community of Belgium, and the German-speaking Community of Belgium. The official name of government organizations usually uses the names of all participants. The summit of the Saar-Lor-Lux region has the official name Summit of the Greater Region Saarland, Lothringen, Luxembourg, Walloon region. French Community of Belgium, German-speaking Community of Belgium. Almost all the meanings of Saar-Lor-Lux include the three original members and exclude all other regions except the 5 members or parts of them. There are many alternative names: Saar-Lor-Lux plus, Saar-Lor-Lux Westphals Trier, Saar-Lor-Lux Wallonie Rhineland-Pfalz, and Greater Region. The government of Luxembourg wishes to use the term Greater Region to represent Saarland, Lothringen, Luxembourg, Walloon region, the French Community of Belgium, and the German-speaking Community of Belgium, but within and outside the European Union. Several other greater regions are beginning to develop. For example, in the Greater Region of Switzerland, Alsace-Baden-Württemberg, the use of the term Greater Region refers to this region. There is no realistic chance of an international agreement requiring the use of the term Greater Region to be restricted to Saar-Lor-Lux. Organization of Saar-Lor-Lux. Saar-Lor-Lux sees a large amount of governmental, non-governmental and mixed cooperation. The Saar-Lor-Lux cooperation is not just between 5 partners. In fact, the cooperation consists of a multitude of single cooperations, treaties and organizations. The single cooperations often do not consist of the same members, because some of the regions do not participate in every cooperation or are represented by different political municipalities. These forms of cooperation have led to the creation of a variety of different organizations. Governmental cooperations summit conferences. Based on a 1994 decision, there are regular summit conferences. The participants are Prime Minister of Luxembourg, Minister-President of the Saarland, Minister-President of Rhineland-Palatinate, Minister-President of the Walloon region, Minister-President of the French Community of Belgium, Minister-President of the German-speaking Community of Belgium, Prefect of Lorraine, President of the Regional Council of Lorraine, President of the General Council of the département-Moselle, President of the General Council of the département Meurthe-et-Moselle. This summit conference is the central political organ of the interregional cooperation of the enlarged Saar-Lor-Lux region. Its task is the pre-definition and declaration of general political decisions. The conference takes care of problems and questions concerning the cooperation and gives suggestions on solutions and developments. There is a group of delegates of the member states who form a standing committee, able to come to decisions in times relations between the conferences, to prepare conferences, to translate the general ideas of the conferences into practical work, and to control the task groups appointed by the conference. The Regional Commission. The Regional Commission is the forum for a variety of topics. The members are Lorraine, Luxembourg, Saarland, Rhineland-Palatinate, Walloon region. Each of the 5 members sends a delegation, led by a head of delegation and supported by a delegation secretary. Within the French delegation there is a high representation of the central state, because many of the subjects of the commission are topics within the responsibility of the central state. The Regional Commission meets once a year in a formal session with prepared documents and resolutions. The sessions are presided by a chairman from one of the member states. Every year a different state provides the chairman. Each delegation consists of 5 or 10 members. In addition to the formal session, the heads of delegation have informal meetings, prepared by the delegation secretaries. The Regional Commission does not have employees or funds of its own. Necessary expenses are directly paid by the members. The delegation providing the chairman also provides the necessary workforce. There are working parties which form the operational part of the Regional Commission, reporting on a regular basis to the Regional Commission. Their topics are economic affairs, road links, transport and communications, environment, social affairs, culture, higher education, regional planning, tourism, security and prevention, education, and regional planning. The Regional Commission formed a working group of the statistics agencies and a working group of the Land Surveying Office. Interregional Parliamentary Council. The presidents of the Luxembourg Chamber of Deputies, the Saarland Tag, the Rhineland-Palatinate Land Tag, the Lorraine Regional Council, the Provincial Council of the Province of Luxembourg formed the Interregional Parliamentary Council. This council promotes the economic, social and cultural role of the Saar-Lor-Lux Greater Region and tries to develop a perspective for cross-border cooperation. Participants of the 5 presidents and 6 appointed members of each the parliaments and assemblies within Saar-Lor-Lux. They meet once a year. 5 standing committees report to the Council: the Committee on Economic Affairs, the Committee on Social Affairs, the Committee on Transport and Communications, the Committee on the Environment and Agriculture, the Committee on Education, Training, Research and Culture. Administrative cooperation. The University Charter. In October 1984, 7 establishments in Saar-Lor-Lux signed a university cooperation agreement at Pont-à-Mousson. This was the first step towards cross-border cooperation in research and education. Members of the Charter are Belgique, Walloon Region, Luxembourg University Foundation, Germany, Rhineland-Palatinate University Institute, Saar University, College of Technology and Economics, France, Metz University, Metz National School of Engineering, Nancy University R&II, Lorraine Polytechnic Institute, Luxembourg, University Centre of Luxembourg. These universities encourage relations between the parties to the Charter, promote teacher, scientist and student exchanges, develop interregional study programs leading to common degrees, and establish common research structures. They foster cooperation on law, French and German literature, geography, environmental science, computer science, materials science, history, culture and sports. Luxembourg and the Saar-Lor-Lux region were the European Cultural Capital 2007. The year saw a combined cultural program, sharing the motto, "Crossing Borders Together." The program was intended to reflect the creativity, the energy and the common future of this European region. The House of the Greater Region. In November 1999, the House of the Greater Region was opened in Luxembourg. It is a place of communication and contact from the citizens of the region, especially all the participants and organizations of the Greater Region. The House is a for public demonstration of the existence of the greater region and therefore provides representation and identification within the interregional cooperation of the greater region. The House is a place to work on projects of the Summit of the Greater Region and the Regional Commission. There is a multilingual hotline connected to the House to give information to interested citizens and to answer questions. The hotline can be used free of charge from anywhere in the greater region. Private cooperations. There are many more forms of cooperation between organizations and persons of the member regions, ranging from a cooperation of the Christian parties of the Saar-Lor-Lux Chambers of Industry and Commerce, and the Saar-Lor-Lux Orchestra, to the Saar-Lor-Lux Rally and the Saar-Lor-Lux Biker Community. Most of these forms of private cooperation are working on a binational or trinational level, including only parts of the region or including groups or organizations outside the region.